Yo, what up, what up? It's your man, Big Brandon Carter. A lot of people ask me, question I get all the time, yo, how long is it gonna take for me to get the body I want? You might have that question yourself, and I'm gonna answer that question in this video. Let's go. Alright, so a lot of people ask, man, how long is it going to take for me to get in shape? Yo, how long does it take to get a body like you? And I usually respond to that by saying, look, bro, set some attainable goals. I'm just playing. You can get a body like me, but you gotta understand, I have been working out about 20 years, 19 years to be exact. 35 years old now. It doesn't take 19 years to get in the kind of shape I'm in, right? You can get there a lot faster if you do things right. That's what this channel is all about, helping you avoid the mistakes that I made and actually learn from the things that I did right based off my experience. And I've been a personal trainer for like 17 years, right? So I got to experiment on thousands of people before I even started a YouTube page. Unlike these assholes who make YouTube videos and they're just shit that they Googled, half of these fools aren't even in shape their goddamn self. It's like taking success advice from a fucking homeless person. But I digress. How long is it gonna take for you to get the body you want? To get the body you want, you probably want to be muscular, like have an impressive muscular physique, and you want low body fat. The low body part fat is easy. That's the easiest part because you can lose fat a lot quicker than you can put on muscle. I have other videos on burning fat. If you want the diet I use to burn fat, there's a link in the description. You might as well go ahead and hit that and check it out. So that leaves us with building muscle. This is the part that's going to take some time. The fat burning process, like biologically, is an easier process. The fat cells only have to shrink. The muscle cells get the stimulus, then they have to grow, and then they have to split, and then grow and split and divide. It's just a longer process, and there's limitations on how big you can get, and we're going to talk about that. So if you're doing everything right in your first year working out, you should be able to gain 20 to 25 pounds of rock hard solid muscle mass, and that's going to look like about 2 pounds of muscle per month. That's if you're doing everything right. But your first year, you can actually like fuck around. Your diet can be off, your training can be off. If you're just half-assing it, you should at least be able to do half of that, like a pound of muscle a month, or 10 to 15 pounds within your first year. Now, the majority is going to come in the first 6 months when your body's acclimating to it. Then it's going to slow down the second 6 months. Now, in your second year of working out, training, you can expect to put on 10, maybe 15 pounds at max of muscle mass if you're doing everything right. That's going to look like around a pound or 1.5 pounds per month. Now your third year of training, probably gonna put on like 5 to 6 pounds of muscle. In your fourth year of training, working out, you're gonna put on about 4 to 5 pounds of muscle max, and this is gonna get less and less. The more years you train, the slower it's gonna be. So for example, for me, somebody made a video saying, hey, Brandon does the ketogenic diet now, but he looks the same way he did 3 years ago. No, I've put on about 5 to 7 pounds of muscle, which is what you can expect after you've been working out for 19 years. In fact, it's amazing that I've been able to put on that much, but I'll explain why too. Now, this is like if you're natural, right? If you're on drugs, fucking all bets are off, like you could do crazy, wild numbers. But this is what you can expect as a natural. And the reason is because your body acclimates. The more you train, the harder it is to put on muscle. Your body gets used to it. And that's why a lot of guys, they get frustrated after their first year or two, because at first they were putting on so much muscle, then it stopped. A lot of times it's those guys, they weren't training right and their diet wasn't on point. They weren't really like meticulous about it. You get what I'm saying? They weren't as strict as they needed to be. So they were able to put on 10, 15, maybe even 20 pounds of muscle the first 2 years, right? With just bullshit and half-assing it. But after that, mid-gains, we'll call it the second year mid-gains, starts to slow down dramatically unless you're doing everything right. How do you prevent that from happening so you can still make as much gains as you can as you progress? Your diet needs to be on point. I would recommend you do that from the onset. Track your macros. I walk around with a scale in my bag. That's the only reason I'm able to maintain this body at my age. One of the age makes it harder, and I just been training so long, so to make any gains at all is difficult for me. So I have to be even more strict with my sleep right? You want to make sure you're getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I don't always do that, and I know that's slowing me down because I'm trying to run a business, right? So that's slowing me down, but you know, I'm past the new gains phase, so I can prioritize other things, right? But if this is your priority, you want to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep. You want to make sure that your diet is on point. I track every macro, right? Every gram of protein, every gram of carbohydrates, you know what I'm saying? All my calories. You know, I wear an Apple Watch to track the calories I burn when I'm not working out, you know, track my steps. Like I'm as diligent as I can be about this because I'm trying to squeeze as much progress as I can at my old ass age. Also, your training has to be on point. I really suggest you use a training log. I have a video about it. My video guy Johnny's gonna put that in the description. Link to the benefits of keeping a training log. Like, that's one of the most important things you can do. If you do that, your success is almost guaranteed. If you don't do that, then you're fucked. You're fucked. All right, you're gonna be one of these assholes who just complaining about not accomplishing your goals, man. You gotta track everything. So I know some fucking asshole who got in great shape. He doesn't keep a training log. Yeah, he's in the minority. Right? He's not the norm. Or whatever. Do whatever the fuck you want, man. That's why you're fucking watching videos about getting in shape and I'm making them. Right? Shut your fuck up. I digress. If you do that, you will make more progress, man. Like, you got to think about, like, take a big company, you know, like Coca-Cola, Walgreens, these big companies. They track everything. They track every fucking dollar spent down to the penny, and they track every dollar made, right? You got to do the same things with your nutrients, with your training, you know, just track everything. Once you start tracking yourself, studies show that once you start like self-observing yourself, your performance improves in all areas. So you want to make sure you do that. What did I do to gain more muscle faster as I got older and been training for longer, right? So I was making some progress, but I wasn't really doing numbers like I told you before. It wasn't until I switched my training style to like a full body workouts, and that's when you know, I had like another growth spurt, right, in my late 20s, early 30s, and then I started training my clients like that, and they started making way more gains. And I trained thousands of people. My career in the fitness industry spans almost 2 decades, right? And I've trained a lot of people a lot of different ways, and the majority of people respond better to a full body workout if they're natural, right? If you're natural. And there's a reason for that, because after you train a muscle, protein synthesis, which is just a fancy word that means muscle growth, but protein synthesis lasts for about 48 hours, right? So if you're doing a fucking shoulder day, right, and you only work your shoulders once a week, now you're missing out on 5 days of protein synthesis. Before steroids were invented, everybody did full body workouts, right? It was just when steroids were invented, they noticed that it made protein synthesis last longer, so they weren't really missing out on those 5 days of muscle growth. If you're on natural full body workouts or upper body lower split, biggest split I would do ever is push-pull legs. That works too, but something where you get some sort of high frequency, where you're training the body parts multiple times a week. Right, I know my shirt says arm day. Hey, these shirts are going to be available soon. Follow me on Instagram so you know when they come out. They're going to be limited edition. The shirt says arm day. That's because every time I'm in the gym, it's arm day, baby. Right, because I'm doing full body workouts, or I'm doing upper lower split. So maybe it's not arm day that day, but you know what I mean. But here's the thing, you don't have to believe me. You can try it. Keep a log. Train for a month, 2 months, 3 months with some fucking bro split. Then go to a more high frequency split and track that. See if it makes a difference. Right? Everything's hypothetical until you apply it to your own life. A lot of you assholes are going to say, hey, it wouldn't work because blah, 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 blah. I read this, or such and such said this in the video. All right, that's cool, man. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. If you don't try it on yourself, then you won't know if it works better for you or not. If you just a motherfucker who's doing the studies, you need to read those studies, because it never says that 100% of the people in the study got the result, right? It says a certain percentage of them were more likely to get a result. Those are always a conclusion, that a certain percent of people are more likely to get a result. Everyone who smokes cigarettes doesn't get cancer, do they? No, I'm not telling you to smoke cigarettes or get cancer. What I'm telling you is that some of these techniques you need to try on yourself to make a fair assessment, because how it pertains to you is the only thing that matters. Not what some fucking nerds did with some fucking assholes, right? You know, in a controlled environment. You have a log now, right? And you're able to see the effect in real time, you know? Anyway, if you like this video, congratulations, man. You are a smart person. It is official, right? You should hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, hey, welcome back, man. It's good to see you, man. Where you been at? Hit the notification button so you get notified when I drop the real shit again, right? Follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm going to announce when the arm day shirts come out soon, so you can get one, right? You know, because it's going to be limited edition, and I know they're going to sell out. So I don't want you to miss out on that. Anyway, I'm Brandon Carter. This has been an awesome ass homemade YouTube video that I made at my office on a computer, and I had some other motherfucker edit and upload. Shout out to Johnny. Yo, love y'all. Peace.